Hey everybody, in this video I am in Carmel, Indiana. In fact, I'm in downtown Carmel, Indiana, and we call it the Arts and Design District. But we are here because we want to talk a little bit about what it's like living in downtown Carmel and what kind of opportunities you might have whenever you're trying to move here, and a little bit of what the lifestyle is going to be like. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Compton with the Compton Home Group. Welcome back to the channel. If you want to know everything there is to know about Carmel, Indiana, or any of the suburbs of the Indy Metro or Indianapolis itself, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video each and every week. Now, we get reach outs from people all over the Indy Metro and all over the country with questions about places like this, like downtown Carmel or Carmel, Indiana, or just any place in the Indy Metro. So if you have questions at all, then make sure that you reach out any way you know how. And we've absolutely got your back with those questions, and we've actually got your back with your move to or within the Indy Metro. So as I said, I'm in downtown Carmel, Indiana, and the Arts and Design District. And the reason I'm here is because it's incredibly popular, not just for people in Carmel, but really all over the north side. It's a pretty cool place to go. But I'm actually in a complex of townhomes, and I'll kind of turn and walk around here a little bit. But people are always wanting, not always I guess, but a lot of people are concerned when they're living in the suburbs about it being bland, or you just have this suburban sprawl where you have house after house after house, or neighborhood after neighborhood after neighborhood, and there's just not a lot of interest. You throw a grocery store here and there and just to keep everybody happy. So that happens a lot in suburbs that grow very, very fast. And there's nothing like this in a lot of suburbs. So the Arts and Design District, downtown Carmel, Indiana, is very interesting. There's lots to do here. And one thing that it does offer a lot of people that some people really do want is, of course, things to do, a cultural heart, but walkability. So they want to be able to live near it and then just walk straight from their house, or they want to at least drive or ride their bikes to it. And then once they're there, not just drive into a parking lot of a restaurant, like an Outback or an O'Charlie's or something like that, and then just go in and out. They want a little bit more interest than that. So a place like this really offers that. There's so much to do here, and it's very easy to park. It's very easy to ride here too. They got the Monon Trail, so you can come from deep in the heart of Indianapolis. You can come from way up north in Westfield and even north of Westfield and come and enjoy this place. But what would it be like to live here? So obviously with the place, it's very popular and extremely walkable with lots of things to do. You'd think, well, the price tag is probably going to be really, really high. And yeah, you're right. So if you want a really big house or a really big condo in this area and you want to spend over $1 million, well, that can certainly happen without a doubt. You can do that. But you have a lot of opportunities in here, like this one, this townhome complex here, which is actually pretty nice. A lot of these things are 1,700, 1,800, 1,900 square feet. They're very vertical, so it might not necessarily be the right fit for you or a family or something like that, but it at least makes living in a place like this a little bit more affordable. So you can get these places really in the 300s, a little over 300,000, and depending on how big they are and how many upgrades they've had, all the way up to the upper 300s. But honestly, that's pretty affordable for how close all of this is to the Arts and Design District. In fact, I'm right here at the end of the complex, and they've got a big siding project, I think, going on here. So there's a dumpster here and some nail guns and all that kind of stuff happening. But right back here, that's Main Street, and that is the beginning, or at least the west end of the Arts and Design District. So we're incredibly close. You could walk out of one of these things, and if they have Main Street Festival going on, I mean, it's just gonna be right here. So as you go through downtown Carmel, there are lots and lots of opportunities for places like that, townhomes and condos. I wouldn't say lots of opportunities like there's a ton of them on the market at any one point in time, but there are at least opportunities throughout an entire year of getting a place like that. But what if you have a family? Because Carmel, Indiana is extremely family friendly. Lots of things for the family to do. I'm coming up here on Main Street. I want to make sure I'm looking both ways before I cross the road, like a wise person would actually do. But there are single family detached homes in this particular area where you could just walk out your door right here to the Arts and Design District, which is actually now kind of behind me. I'm at the northern end, the northwest end of the Arts and Design District, and it's it is a big district. It is a big, big area. And walking from one side of it, like the far north side, all the way to the south side, that's actually quite a walk. But you could certainly do it. It's just if it's raining or if it's during the winter, you might not want to so much. But a beautiful day like today, I mean, you could walk everywhere and just have a great old time. But the single family detached homes, those definitely are gonna be more expensive. However, if you are a project person and you're okay with a fixer-upper, well, there are opportunities in this particular area where you can get into a home for upper 2s into the 3s, but it's going to need a lot of work. It's going to be incredibly old, probably 100 years old, maybe a little bit more. And in a lot of cases, those are renovated. But in other cases, they're actually completely torn down and a new home is built in there on top of that lot. So if you go right through the heart of downtown Carmel, and now I'm on my bike actually, riding. This is one of my favorite things to do, is ride around down here on a beautiful day like today. But when you go through the heart of the Arts and Design District, then you're not gonna see a whole lot of single family detached homes. You're gonna see most of these being apartments, high-end luxury apartments, and also townhomes. But if you get off of kind of the main drag, you're off Main Street, a little bit, we're crossing the Monon Trail right now, a little bit off of the Monon Trail, then that's when you get a little bit more into those homes. And actually, when you get more into those homes, in those areas, in those streets, they get more wooded, more trees, very, very mature. And that's why, you know, of course, you can have some of those 100-year-old homes. They've been there a long time. Well, so have the trees. So these streets feel extremely established. And in some cases, you have these brand new, unbelievable homes that are put into those places, and it can give them a really established residential feel. Really, really tough to come by. Right here, this street that I'm riding along, it's extremely shaded. You get a few homes like this one right here that very, very old, but actually it's been pretty well taken care of and renovated. And then you get into some other homes that definitely are incredible. They are much newer, so built really for the most part within the last 10 years or so. So brand new, and just such a cool feel in that it's built into the heart of Carmel. So this is really the oldest part of Carmel. You've got the original streets. It's not necessarily the same concrete, asphalt, and that kind of stuff, but you've got the original infrastructure, so the layout of the streets, that's all here. And then just all of these old trees and all of this shade and just this incredibly warm feel to it. So as I'm going down this road, these homes here are all extremely unique. They've got a lot of character, which is actually sometimes difficult to do in a brand new, looking both ways here, in a brand new residential neighborhood. So with all of these newer homes just built on these older streets, you know, it has a feel like, well, it's sort of out in the suburbs and it may be isolated from, I don't know, just a whole lot of stuff that you'd like to do or like to see, but it's not true at all. I mean, I've just passed a bunch of people riding their bikes, walking everywhere, and I'm looking ahead here, a block from the Arts and Design District. In fact, I've got I think a skateboarder behind me. I can hear him coming up. So he's probably going into the Arts and Design District to skate around, maybe on the Monon, or who knows, get some pizza or something like that. But all of these homes here are pretty incredible. So of course, you have a price tag that goes along with that. But, you know, as I'm stopping here in front of this house, obviously this house is going to be expensive. But you have intermixed in here, there's the skateboarder, right behind me, that are much, much older, much smaller, and are going to be much cheaper too. And, you know, one of the opportunities you can get into a place like the Arts and Design District or Downtown Carmel for a reasonable price, and maybe do some of your own renovating. Or in some cases, if the house is exceptionally old and needs a lot of work, then you do what a lot of people did, like I said before, and you're spending $200,000-$300,000 in that range or a little more, and the house is a total teardown, and then you put something like what's behind me up. But it's that opportunity to get into a fairly walkable location. Everywhere I go, it seems like it's trash day or there's some kind of construction. They're cutting a tree down back there and raking the grass. It is really difficult to get to a place where it's fairly quiet. And we talked about Carmel before in the fact that it's one of the more expensive suburbs around Indianapolis. And you think, well, you know, I can't or don't want to spend money, can afford or don't want to purchase a home like this one here for $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 or do a tear down and a giant renovation. Well, that's okay. You know, you can actually still live in Carmel. It's still probably going to be, to get into it, $350,000 or above to get into an actual home almost anywhere you go in Carmel. But the cool thing is that this whole downtown area is extremely accessible for everybody. So the Monon Trail, like we've talked about before, it connects all the way down into Indianapolis and of course the far south side of Carmel, all the way up into the north. And as long as you live relatively near it, you can get to the Monon and get down here pretty fast. You can run, you can walk, you can bike, depending of course on how far away you are from the city center, but you can do that, crossing the street again. But if you don't even live close to the Monon, that's okay too. You could actually drive your car over to the Monon and then take your bike down here to the city center. There are just so many different options, and it's just so incredible at least having this place even if you don't live here. So if you have questions about downtown Carmel, Arts and Design District, or Carmel in general, and for that matter, anywhere in the Indy Metro, then make sure that you reach out any way you know how. And until the next one, we'll see you later.